If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
We are the wind in the sails of your business. We are your compass. Chart your course towards your targets. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
They are 1.8 billion globally. They will make 75% of workforce by 2025. They will outspace earnings of baby boomers in less than 10 years. Smartphones and tablets are the argument settlers and fact checkers for every conversation. Get more insights on African Millennials on Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Wow, I mean, businesses are on, guys. I understand that there's COVID, but businesses are still doing this thing nonetheless, COVID or no COVID. And we also today, I didn't get into the studio late, unlike last week Friday. I just imagined with my mask on that life is normal, and I left way early. Of course, I encountered a little bit of traffic, but then I'm here in the studio this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How we doing, guys? How are my people doing over there in Ghana, in South Africa, in Lesotho, in Ethiopia, in Egypt, and everywhere? The folks in UK. Guys in UK, please stay safe, right? I understand that Liverpool just won the league and these guys are going to be all over each other, right? Stay safe. You don't have to really associate with a Liverpool fan right now. You understand that they won, but please, for your safety, congratulate them from afar. Those guys are going to almost mess things up during the what do you call that thing when they give them the cup? Whatever the jubilation, the celebration is. Winning a cup in an empty stadium. Alright, I'm sorry, I'm a Man U fanatic and you can understand where all that's coming from. Alright, I have someone very, very interesting in the studio this afternoon. I think the first time I saw her on the internet was a picture she took. That's Santorini, I mean. I know someone who has been to Santorini before. And I was like, is this picture Photoshop? And I had to check okay, no voila. Then followed, then I saw that, okay, this person is actually someone who would have some stuff. And then I took the jump, and it's been a very, very interesting online-ish Twitter, Instagram relationship so far. And I noticed that recently she started talking about a new blog called The Dime Broker. That's it, right?
Yes.
The Dime Broker. Like Dime Broker. Oh, sorry, hold on. You actually want to clean the lens of your camera a little bit. It's quite blurry.
Yeah. It's done.
Yeah, alright. So, and then I check out the blog. I was like, okay, content needed, actually. And then she took it a step further, and then we saw the budget.
Yes. The monthly
budget. I was like, okay, now this is good, actually. I mean, this is someone who is seeing a problem and not just ranting and talking about why something not happened, but then just trying to get it going. So I purchased one of it. I saw it. I liked it. I was like, I might talk about this on the radio show. Right. But I kept the thought to myself. I didn't reach out to her on time. And yesterday evening, no, it wasn't yesterday evening. I was at 2 a.m. today.
Oh yeah, 2 a.m.
I woke up. I needed to fix some things. And then I was like, you know what? I need to talk to Anita about this thing. And then, she's in the studio today to talk about finance, to talk about the dime broker, to talk about the essence of budgeting and especially having that financial discipline. Especially living in this environment where you don't know, you know where the next money is coming from, but then this environment and this time, it's COVID, people are dropping out of jobs anyhow, right? People are also making money anyhow,
Sure.
right? SMEs are getting shut down. Some are trying to stay afloat and things like that. So it's very, very important to talk about this at this time. All right, guys, let me give you a little bit introduction or read out something about Anita. She's a lawyer, Anita Ohakim.
Yes, Anita Ohakim.
Ohakim, okay. I got the pronunciation
you
well.
did.
I'm very, very particular about that. Is a lawyer, customer experience consultant, and a personal finance and lifestyle blogger. Right. Anita she's that example of the ladies who are not taking no for an answer. So you might say, what's a lawyer doing in finance? But trust me, she knows it. Anita has an LL.M in international economic law from the University of Warwick. Since moving back from the UK, she has also worked on offering transformation initiatives to companies in the consumer service sector. So she does consumer service again, right? Anita most recently ventured into the financial literacy space to teach and document her journey towards early retirement and financial freedom. Now, another thing is Anita is an Igbo woman. So if a Igbo woman is going to tell you about finance, I think you should really, really listen. I mean, Igbos are like...
Point of correction, Koshevarian. So I'm from Calabar.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
My Igbo brothers, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's from... But then, everything has... It's all... Because I think you have that what's it called?
Hustle spirit, financial growth, business growth thing in you. So I just added one or two together. I just thought she must really have my family's Igbo gene flowing somewhere. But I'm sorry, Calabar. Okay, so Anita, what's been happening first of all, generally with you? Then we'll now go deep into... Okay. First of all, this year has been unexpected. Can I just say thank you for having me on the show as well, Tommy? It's been a great relationship. I didn't think, obviously, it'd get to this, but I'm glad it has progressed to this. But this year has been very difficult for most people, not just myself. I started this year budgeting. Weirdly, I was using someone else's budget that I actually paid for, and it was in pounds. And I remember just putting, the maths together, calculating how much I estimated, from my side hustles and everything that I was going to make and from my job. But you won't believe that when this virus, this pandemic hit, I got a pay cut of about 90% from my 9-to-5 year. Wow. And imagine going from 100% income to living on 10%. Wow. Is drastic. It's almost like, how do you survive? What do you do? So at the beginning of the pandemic, when everyone was still not sure or whatever, the industry I do the experience service for, customer experience service for, is the sports betting industry. I've worked here for about 4 years now. And so that was the first industry to get hit. Literally, no more games, no more football matches. So what are we selling? What customer experience are we selling? No one is calling in to find out what's going on. So immediately people had to get fired. And at least I still kept my job, or so it seemed, but I was getting a pay cut of 90% and it didn't make any sense to me. So all of that budgeting and calculation that I had done at the beginning of the year went out the window. I had paid for a budget that now I couldn't use because nothing was adding up. So that went on for a while when the pandemic hit. And I just had to figure out a way to come back to my social standing. So, I like to enjoy, like you said, I was in Santorini. So I was in 4 countries at the end of the year. So how do you move from traveling vicariously and enjoying your life and people telling you all that they think about you and they think of lifestyle, money, enjoyment, to now having to explain that you might not really be able to afford that anytime soon. But while I was experiencing that, I was also on the journey to financial freedom and early retirement. I watched my mom work for 30 years in government. And I realized it's not something I want to do. I don't want to keep working every day of my life for 30 years in civil service or corporate jobs. I want to be on a board in 20 years or 10 years, 13 years. So I plan to retire at the age of 40. And everyone in my family thinks it's ridiculous, but I think it is very doable because we're in a time where things are evolving. People are doing the things that they love and are actually monetizing the things that they love. Yeah.
Wow, man, that's really good. Should I say I'm sorry or wow or come on? 90%.
It's hard.
Wow. I mean, I'm sorry. That's close to you not having a job, actually. But then you still have a job.
Let's pretend we still have a job because you do this thing out of love, and passion, and that's kind of why I started the Dime Broker.
Exactly, I was about to say that. So let's talk about that. I mean, so was it you just being home or thinking through all of these things or looking at how you were living on 10%, right? How did you now start that Dime Broker? I mean, what was the motivation?
Okay, so Dime Broker was mainly born out of the need to understand my finances better, but also record the journey. You know how people do videos or vlogs of their lives and everything, and they can keep track and be accountable, hold themselves accountable. It's easy for us to say, oh, I want to be financially free, I want to retire early, but we never actually keep ourselves accountable, hold ourselves accountable. It's most likely other people that do it for us, but we're also trying to live up to the gram and everything and look fly, look fabulous. So the Dime Broker project or platform was born out of the need for me to document that journey. But remember I said I was trying to retire early even from like last year, but this year I then realized, oh boy, it's impossible. Almost impossible if I continue like this. But for the past, the 7 months before the pandemic hit, I was saving half of my salary monthly. So religiously, monthly, half of my salary or side hustle or whatever it is. So when the pandemic hit, it became easier for me to survive. Again, how do you move from 10%, 100% to 10%?
That was it, actually. There was a saving culture.
Exactly. From time. Not that I was always responsible about it, but this year I made a commitment to try and be responsible. But I also noticed my friends were having that issue. So a few days ago, even a friend called and she said, oh, I'm broke. I'm quite broke and everything. But by the time we went through her money or her calculations and her figures and her income, she wasn't broke. It was just mismanagement, which is what happens to most of us.
I'm sorry, I want to chip in something. You know, so you have money, right? Let's say you have 100 naira. And something here, 5 naira, 7 naira. And then after some time, you have 2 naira. And I start thinking, what did I buy? That thing messes me up a lot. Like, what exactly did I buy? So I'm sure that what really happened to her.
Yeah. It's easy to have gaps. So let me bust your head. This pandemic, as much as people were saying, oh, they fired me or I don't have money anymore. Best believe Netflix went up. The stocks went up. Why? Because more people were now subscribing. They were home doing nothing. DSTV has gone up. GoTV has gone up. Recreational things have gone up. But then our savings have gone down. Why is that?
I don't know.
Because we prioritize our wants or our need for entertainment or quick gratification over long-term savings. And so you're not holding yourself accountable.
But those things are tiny money now. They're not.
You think it's tiny money. Let me bust your head. Netflix is 4,400. DSTV is 4,600 thereabout. Apple Music is 3,300.
Okay.
You're looking for where the money went. This is where the money went. And then it's still the same you that's subscribing for. Of course. And because you're now streaming Netflix non-stop, you've now managed to burn SpectraNet half in the month, like middle of the month, your 100 gig has gone. Now you need to spend twice as much on internet than you typically would spend.
I'm hungry.
So now you know. Plus, let's even talk about food, for example. We eat out because it's cold. There's no food in our house, supposedly. But then takeaway pack, you've spent 100 naira already. You've eaten rice, you've eaten chicken or whatever it is. There's rice at home, there's chicken at home, it's just uncooked. And you didn't really have you were too bored or you were doing something, you were too busy. That adds up. By the end of the week, you've spent 3 times as much as you would on budgeting food in the month because you've eaten at Black Bill. In fact, your fuel, let's talk about that. You went to Black Bill, right? So now you're paying for fuel back and forth. So the 3,000 that you could conveniently spend on fuel in a week is, for some reason, it's now 4,000 or 5,000.
Or even when you now order during this lockdown period, and then
even ordered, exactly.
The guy is not coming delivery and
exactly.
add delivery charge to it. I'm angry.
In fact, in Lagos, you find 1,500 delivery charge, and the food is 1,200. Please make it make sense.
Anita, let's have a short break right now, and then we'll be back to talk about the solutions you have to things like this, because I need that solution myself. You're preaching into me right now. All right, guys, let's have a short break and we'll be back.
Listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insight on Africa business landscape. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available as podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.
Welcome back. Guys, you need to give a shout out to this guy. He's got S Cool on the beats. He made this music bed that we use. You can check him out on YouTube and get that next artist to get a music track from him. The guy is good. All right. What is the solution to this thing right now? Because it is hitting me, right? I actually had plans to use some 1,000, 2,000 to do some things. Now, I'm just thinking that I think it was the devil that was speaking to my ears earlier. So I'm not doing any of those anymore. So what are the solutions, right? And then what would the budget sheet do, right? Just give me a solution.
Okay.
I'm your patient right now.
All right, no problem. So, the first thing you have to do is come to terms with where you are financially and be very honest with yourself. So you have to be candid about your finances. Listen, you can do this in the comfort of your home, in front of nobody. Just come to terms with the fact that you need to work on it. And you can think right now that, I have so much money and it's okay, I'm in a good place financially, but you can be in a better place generally. That's why I created the Dime Broker budget. It's on my website. So basically, the budget will highlight your income, savings and investments, and expenses. So I usually advise people that when you earn, so at the end of the month or beginning of the month, like now, they've probably paid you for last month and you've probably touched it already. But what's left of it, I want you to sit down and impute it into your budget. So highlight all of your income streams and start working towards increasing your streams of income. That's important also. You can never make too much money.
No, you can't.
Whatever is left, you can still use it for impact, exactly, or something else. But so when you're done with gauging your income, it's time to then pay yourself first. That is where the big problem lies. Because most people get their salary and immediately transfer. We're transferring to the person we owe. We're transferring to this other person. We're transferring towards this or that. No, you have forgotten yourself. You are your priority. You need to pay yourself first. So once that income comes in, we start to talk about savings and investments. Now, I try to put away 50% of my income, 50 to 70% of my income. It's not everybody's
savings or investments?
Savings and investments. So I want you to think about it as the same thing for the purpose of this. For you to even have investment, you need to have the savings. I guess that most people's savings will come out of, or investment will come out of their savings, right? So you need to then pay yourself. And by paying yourself, you need to be strict about the percentage of your income you're putting towards your savings. From the savings, you can then siphon some into your investments. So the blog post talks about the two different types of ways to save. So I talk about the 50, 30, 20, which means 50 going into your needs. So your daily shelter and all the necessary things you need to survive. Then 30% going into your wants. Okay. Like all of the other shopping, all the things that you can kind of do without Netflix. Then 20% going into your savings. That is a good way to start. But I also talk about the 70-30, right? So the 70-30 is save 30. Everything else can go towards your needs and wants. So the difference is in the first one, 50, 30, 20, you've used 80% on needs and wants, right? But then the 20% has gone into savings. Meanwhile, the 70-30, you can save more. Now you're saving 30%, right? And then you're spending 70%. I prefer the 70-30, and that's because obviously you save more, but also 70% of your income looks like a lot, doesn't it? Now that makes you feel responsible for every dime of that 70%. And chances are you're not going to finish all of it because now you're looking at it like 70%. Jesus, that is a lot of my income, right? So that's 70% now. There's no saying you need to spend everything. In fact, half the trips you see me go on, it's the remnant of the 70% that have funded those things because it seems like a treat that I was able to save from the 70% that I was supposed to spend, right? Okay, so the budget then highlights all of those parts. And the budget is so special because you see a savings gauge is like a fuel gauge. So you know when you're running on empty, your car is honest with you. Your car is going to die on the road and there's nothing you can do about it. That's kind of how your savings gauge works. It shows you the percentage of savings you have achieved for the month. And it shows you that you can do better. And it's on red until you hit 20%. There's no lying to yourself. There's nothing you can do about it. Deal with it. But when you start to see green, means you have reached about 50% of your savings. And that's such a big deal in the savings world. It's super encouraging for you as well. And it gets better. But you have to be consistent. Now let's go on to the expenses part. Now you've paid yourself first because you are a priority. You love yourself. Okay. You're the most important part of this equation.
I made a new kaftan.
Thank you. But now your expenses column is also important. And I'm going to talk about this. So you have so many expenses in the month because you don't always track your expenses, right? And then you just go about spending on whatever. But do you know what your core bills are? Most people don't know what their core bills are. Their bill bottom line. They have no idea. So I would advise that you go to your bank statement for at least the past 3 months and gauge what you've been spending on. You could have avoided some of those payments because you just weren't watching. Okay. So now in the expenses column, I've also created a household budget. So that household budget is amazing because it has a location. Do you know which stores, you can buy from and save the most? Do you? No, you don't. I'm sure you buy from Spar today, Hubmart tomorrow, this place next tomorrow. But really, you need to figure out the stores that give you the best prices because 10 naira here, 15 naira here.
It's adding up.
It's adding up.
It's adding up.
Every single penny you spend outside of the things that you actually went to buy, it's adding up and it's pointless. It's no good because when they are paying your salary, they're not going to say, oh, let's keep 10 naira. Do you understand? You're going to feel it. If your salary is 100k and they take out 10 naira, it's not 100k again, is it? It's not. So let's consider our expenses the same way we consider our income because this is time. Everything you pay for is like your time has gone into that. So that's why we then created the household budget because it was so essential to know where we're spending on stuff and where we should be shopping more often and where we should be avoiding. So that's the budget for you, basically.
Wow. You know, I don't even know where to start from. Oh God, where do I start from now? You know, when you talked about, the 10 naira here, the 10 naira, I was at, so I buy my toiletries from this place. There's this store at Tejo Show.
Okay.
That's where I think a lot of people go there. So St. Ives, right? I know how much I buy it.
Yeah.
Right. So before the lockdown, I bought a number because I just bought in bulk.
Right.
It's finished. I was around Ibano. And I was like, let me just buy now because I didn't have what I was going to use to have my bath the next day.
Yeah.
When I saw it, my mind was, let me buy from Ibano and buy a couple of things.
Yeah.
when I picked up that and I checked the price, I said, no, don't worry.
You knew that something was wrong.
I'll go to where I used to go to tomorrow. Let me just pick one, because I could imagine 100 naira here. I'll end up spending
much more.
So much more at the end of the day. Wow. I mean, this budget, where can we get it from, please?
So you can get it from www.dimebroker.com.
So that's Dime, that's DIME.
Yes.
Broker, how you spell it?
Broker, BROKER.
Okay, that's dimebroker.com.
Yes.
Right.
So I basically create a balance between your lifestyle and your money.
I mean, guys, don't you want to go to Santorini? let's save this money.
Yeah, you could totally save.
So you can save part of the 70%, the remnants from our 70%.
In fact, it gets better. So sometimes that remnant from your 70%, you can add it towards your savings, invest that completely, and use the profit on your investment. Again, you're treating yourself. Use the profit on the investment and treat yourself.
Enjoy life.
Exactly, enjoy life. That way, you're not even touching your own money. You're getting money for free, and you're using it
I
to
know,
flex.
sorry, just to touch on the vanity side of it. So you actually went and you did this thing.
Yeah.
Right. And you take a picture. And you post it on Instagram. Yeah. People are not waiting for the next picture you post. When you post, they will see it anyways and they will like it. Yeah. Even if you posted that picture once in 2 years. Right? I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So you don't have to always do.
Of course.
Right? Just say, do one and give them.
You know
Let
that.
them talk since you want them to talk, and then come back to your normal life. I mean, I know that school fees and everything, we're all going up, and these schools are not chilling at all.
Fun fact, there's going to be more segments, obviously, on Dime Broker where I talk about these travels, because I traveled to 4 countries at the same time. But people didn't know that. They thought I was traveling over like a period of, I don't know, 4 months or something.
You know, guys, let's just enjoy our lives, man. Get financial discipline.
Yes.
I mean, she spoke a whole lot to me. You know, borrow me this one here, borrow me that one there, do this one here, do this one there. Let me be a good guy here. When it gets down to what it gets down to. So how much is it? Is there a price for the?
Yeah, so the Dime Broker is 1,000 naira.
Just 1,000 naira.
It's just 1,000 naira.
Guys, go buy this thing, please.
And it's
Dimebroker.com. It's going to save you a whole lot. It's going to save more thousands. I mean, it's an investment. I mean, if I'm investing 1,000 naira into that, what's the percentage profit I'm getting? Come on, guys. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, you're getting a whole
My
lot.
producer, Jeremiah, how many minutes more do I have in this joint? Okay. I have 3 more minutes to be in your ears, guys, and maybe in your faces on Instagram Live. Right, guys, Anita has said a whole lot today, right? And the beautiful thing is this is not someone just talking off a PowerPoint slide that she read. This is someone talking based on a personal experience, right? So you can see the difference in that. Those are the kind of things that we try to do on this show. We're not all bring people and then so many talked about working from. All of them are resuming that work now. I'm sorry. We're going to be talking HR next week anyways. We're going to bring Toye Badmus back into the studio next week. Very, very interesting person. You know, so she's shared from a personal experience and you have seen, you know, her give authentic examples on how things have gone. Let's get our savings right, man. For the kids we're going to give back to, you know, let's instill that discipline in them so we can have a more responsible generation in about 2 decades time. All right, guys. I'm going to be out of your faces right now. It's africabusinessradio.com to listen to past editions and to listen to this edition again. And don't forget to go on getapping.com to take the African Millennial Reports. The man called Michael is going to be on everybody's desk for the next 1 month to ensure that everybody takes the African Millennial Report survey. Let's have data. Let's get things going. And don't forget, please guys, stay safe. You don't have to invite them to your house. Wash your hands all the time. Wear a face shield like we're doing right now. Although the producer said I should lift it up so the mic, but then, you know, once I'm done, I'm going to pull it back down. All right, guys. Enjoy a very, very wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Stay safe. Like I said, stay safe. I can't say it over and over again. I can stay safe a lot. And then we're back in your ears again on Friday. All right, then. It's Tommy, Wally. Bye for now.
Listening to Africa Business Radio, where you get up-to-date insights on the Africa business landscape. log on to www.africabusinessradio.com. Your favorite shows are available on podcasts. Download them on our website and mobile app. Africa Business Radio, towards a profitable Africa.